Washington, North Korea on Friday deported an American citizen it says it detained for illegal entry, a U.S. official said, an apparent concession that came even as the reclusive nation announced the test of a newly developed but unspecified, ultra-modern weapon that will be seen as a pressuring tactic by Washington. The two whiplash announcements, which seemed aimed at both appeasing and annoying Washington, suggest North Korea wants to keep a live dialogue with the United States, even as it struggles to express its frustration at stalled nuclear diplomacy. North Korea in the past has held arrested American citizens for an extended period before high-profile U.S. figures traveled to Pyongyang to secure their freedom. Last year, American university student Otto Warmbier died days after he was released in a coma from North Korea after 17 months in captivity. On Friday, the Korean Central News Agency said American national Bruce Byron Lawrence was detained on October 16 for illegally entering the country from China. It said he told investigators that he was under the manipulation of the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency. It was not clear if the North's spelling of the man's name was correct, and past reports from Pyongyang have contained incorrect spellings. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Friday expressed appreciation for the cooperation of North Korea and the Embassy of Sweden, which handles consular issues for U.S. citizens in North Korea, in facilitating the release of an American citizen. His brief statement provided no further details. A U.S. official said the man had left North Korea and was on a flight back to the United States. The official, who was not authorized to discuss the matter publicly and spoke on condition of anonymity. He provided no other details. The North's decision matches its general push for engagement and diplomacy with the United States this year after a string of weapons tests in 2017, and a furious U.S. response, had some fearing war on the Korean peninsula. In May, North Korea released 3 American detainees in a goodwill gesture weeks ahead of leader Kim Jong-un's June 12 summit with President Donald Trump in Singapore. The 3 Americans returned home on a flight with Pompeo. The United States, South Korea and others have previously accused North Korea of using foreign detainees to wrest diplomatic concessions. Some foreigners have said after their release that their declarations of guilt had been coerced while in North Korean custody. Warmbier and other previous American detainees in the North were imprisoned over a variety of alleged crimes, including subversion, anti-state activities and spying. The weapon test was likely an expression of anger by North Korea at U.S.-led international sanctions. The latest detained American is likely a man that South Korea deported last year, according to South Korean police. In November 2017, a 58-year-old man from Louisiana was caught in South Korea after spending 2 nights in the woods in a civilian-restricted area near the border with North Korea. The name written in his passport was Lawrence Bruce Byron, said police officers at Gyeonggi-Bukbu Provincial Police Agency. Before his deportation, the man told interrogators that he knows lots of people in the Trump administration, so that he wants to work as a bridge between the United States and North Korea to help improve their ties worsened by Warmbier's death, said one of the police officers who investigated the man. He requested anonymity citing department rules. Earlier Friday, KCNA said Kim observed the successful test of an unspecified, newly developed ultramodern tactical weapon, though it didn't describe what the weapon was. It didn't appear to be a test of a nuclear device or a long-range missile with the potential to target the United States. A string of such tests last year pushed always uncomfortable ties on the peninsula to unusually high tension before the North turned to engagement and diplomacy. Still, any mention of weapons testing could influence the direction of stalled diplomatic efforts spearheaded by Washington and aimed at ridding the North of its nuclear weapons. Experts say the weapon test was likely an expression of anger by North Korea at U.S.-led international sanctions and ongoing small-scale military drills between South Korea and the United States. It's the first publicly known field inspection of a weapons test by Kim since he observed the testing of the HWASONG-15 intercontinental ballistic missile in November of last year, according to South Korea's Unification Ministry. It's North Korea-style coercive diplomacy. North Korea is saying, if you don't listen to us, you will face political burdens, said analyst Shin Bom-chul of Seoul's Asan Institute for Policy Studies. Earlier this month, North Korea's foreign ministry warned it could bring back its policy of bolstering its nuclear arsenal if it doesn't receive sanctions relief. Shin said the weapon North Korea tested could be a missile, artillery, an anti-air gun, a drone or other high-tech conventional weapon systems. Yang Wook, a Seoul-based military expert, said a tactical weapon in North Korea refers to a weapon aimed at striking South Korea including U.S. military bases there, so the North may have tested a short-range missile or a multiple rocket launch system. Diplomacy has stalled since the Singapore summit, with Washington pushing for more action on nuclear disarmament and the North insisting the U.S. first approve a peace declaration formally ending the Korean War and lift sanctions. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, attending a Southeast Asian summit in Singapore, cited the great progress made on North Korea since the tensions of 2017 but said more had to be done. He stressed that UN sanctions had to remain enforced. The North said the test took place at the Academy of National Defense Science and that Kim couldn't suppress his passionate joy at its success. But North Korea's report was noticeably less belligerent than past announcements of weapons tests, and didn't focus on North Korean claims of U.S. and South Korean hostility. Last year's string of increasingly powerful weapons tests, many experts believe, put the North on the brink of a viable arsenal of nuclear-tipped missiles that can target anywhere in the mainland United States. Kim reported from Seoul, South Korea. Associated Press writers Kim Tong-hung and Foster Klug in Seoul and Annabelle Liang in Singapore contributed to this report.